My name's Kyle.
And my name's Melissa.
Together, we've been traveling with our dog Dolly in our Toyota RAV4. We've decided, though, it's time to convert our very own camper van. Well, I was about to install the shelf, but Melissa didn't paint the back, which is fine, except for she didn't paint the back of this, which is going to be seen. So this is like the support piece, and yeah, that's going to be very visible, so we got to go paint that. Getting this shelf put in now means that we can get the roof installed, which means we can get the side panels installed. Oh, it's a good day. So a lot of vans, when they're attaching their roof, they will use a pine board, like a shiplap board that's like a tongue and groove, you click them in, everything like that. And those have a lot of rigidity to them, but they're also really heavy. So we decided against that. We also didn't really want the shiplap look, so instead we got beadboard, and we got a beadboard paneling that we're going to be putting up on the roof throughout the van. So I needed a good mounting place for that beadboard paneling, and that's what this board is right here. So as you can see, I've marked along it, I scribed along that board the roof angle. So it has like a curve to it, so I took a Sharpie and a straight edge and marked this down. So now we have to trim this down, and then when we set it up there, it's going to be the same curvature as the rest of the roof. And so this will give us a good mounting place. It'll be big enough. It won't be, I thought about using plywood, but plywood just isn't really thick enough to be able to mount to. So this is what I went on. Easy, simple, using a 2x4 instead of plywood. So I think there's also one other project that I completed today, and that is rerouting all of the cables and putting in their connectors on where exactly the lights are gonna go. So we measured it all out. We got it ready. There's two zones. There's gonna be like a front zone where the cabinets are and everything like that, and then there'll be a back zone back by the bed.
Ready? Here we go! We got light! Woo!
One of the things that I'm gonna start working on tonight, and hopefully it won't take me that long, I'm gonna start building in the inserts. So basically what I want to do is I don't want to take the wall all the way down from here, all the way down, because we'll lose like 3 inches on each side of sleeping area. And as it is right now, I think we're gonna have like 6'1" of the widest part on the bed, and that's not very big. I'm 5'9", 5'10", and you know, I'd like to be able to stretch out, and especially if you're taller, you just want that extra room. So I'm gonna be building in these boxes that basically is gonna come down, and then it's gonna go back into this like recessed area that this van has. So to start, I'm gonna attach the insulation on the back here, because there'll be just a thin single layer bat of insulation that will kind of stick to the wall back here, and then there's gonna be a piece of 1/2-inch plywood that goes over the top of this, just to make it as thin as humanly possible. Got my cut list, so let's cut some plywood. Here it is. May not look like much, but this is a pretty complex little box. That corner over there is the shortest. This one is the tallest. So it goes from the shortest to the tallest on one side, which is kind of crazy. And you can see there's a taper there. And this side is way thinner than that side, as you can tell. I think the best way for me to install these is going to be after I get the main supports for the bed in here. So the tolerances between this and the support beams that we're gonna put for the bed are so small that I'm not sure that I would be able to get the beams in once I've installed this box on either side. So what that means is I need to get most of the things that are underneath the bed completed, or at least most of the way completed as far as I can get them at the current state of the van. So that means like the water system needs to be installed, get the fridge close to being installed, just so that way my life is easier when installing those systems, instead of having to work around, 6 beams, 6 metal bars that are going across and prevent me from being able to move like I am right now. It is time to drill a hole into our nice, beautiful, perfect water tank. I'll tell you what, it never gets any less nerve-wracking than cutting holes in things that you can't fix or replace. So we want to be careful not to over tighten, because this is metal threads on plastic, which is not a good mix. Usually, you typically strip out the plastic super fast, and this plastic is also pretty soft. So that's also why I'm not using a drill to put on these screws. This fitting right here, it's a 2-inch hole saw that needs to get in there. And once you get it past the threads, it fits nice and tight for to be able to drill it out. Dang! I was hoping that this would still catch the plastic piece, but it did not. So I am gonna have to figure out how to get that out. You can actually see it right down, where is that? There it is, right there. Hopefully this is sticky enough. I got it. There we go. Some thread tape on there just so it fits nice and tight. This is going to be where our breather tube is located. So this way, there's a way for air to get out of the tank as we're filling it, or as we're draining it, it can breathe into the tank. So this will run up above the tank, so that way if there is a little bit of water slosh, it doesn't just go directly out. And then this will run out the floor of the van where there will be a filter, so that way things can't come back up into it. But it allows air to come in and out, so that way there's no pressure buildup that is happening. So we have the water fill inlet, which is where our mega big hose is gonna go that's coming from outside of the van. Then we have our air, like our breathing tube. And then this is gonna be where the pump pulls from, and also where we drain the tank from if we ever need to do that. Typically on a sink in your house or in your bathroom, in your kitchen, wherever it's at, you'll have a P-trap. So what that means is you don't want any smell from the drain or the sewer water that goes down your sink to come back up. So what you'll do is you'll have a piece of hose that comes off of your sink drain. And what you'll do is it'll run out of your sink drain, and you'll create a S curve like this. So basically there's water trapped in this bottom little curve down here, and then it prevents any smells or any gases or anything from your sewer line to come back up because it can't pass that water bubble. In a van, that's a lot harder to do. It takes a lot of space, first of all, but then also if you're driving and the water sloshes out of that P-trap, then you no longer have that barrier between your gray water tank and the inside air of your van. So there's this super cool invention that I've just recently found. It's called a HEVPO, or HEPVO, sorry. And it is a P-trap that is completely encased in this right here. So basically there's a membrane in there that only allows water to pass through, and it doesn't allow any water to come back up or air to come back through. So it's low profile and it fits perfect. I just went in there and fit, this is the sink drain that's gonna be on the bottom of the sink. And so that one's a low profile, and then this fits absolutely perfect. It goes on the sink, goes perfectly into the corner of the cabinet, and then we can use the hose to run it down into our gray water tank. While we have everything sitting out and ready, let's just add the tank level gauge onto our gray water tank, and then we can get that ready for installation as well. To be able to drain our gray water tank, I picked up this. So this is a motorized ball valve. So the hope is that we just pull up wherever we need to empty our gray water tank, we flip a switch that's gonna be on the inside of the van, and all of a sudden this opens up and lets our gray water tank drain wherever we want it to, whenever we want it to, without getting under the van. It is so incredibly foggy out tonight. Take a look at this. Like literally as I'm walking, I'm getting water droplets on my glasses. It is so foggy. I just cleaned out the water tanks for the van and rinsed out the insides and everything like that. And I had set them on an angle out here to hope that they would like dry off and I'd be able to actually use them. It is so, like this fog is making everything just so wet that the tanks themselves are still as wet, if not more wet, than when I set them here and went inside for a little bit. So I think I'm gonna have to put a pause on those for tonight because I literally can't put them inside the van. It is so wet. And instead what I'll do is I'll get the wall panel put on where the freshwater tank is going, right here, and get that insulated, but get the wall put on, get the hole cut out for the inlet, and I guess I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. It is so wet out though. Good grief. All right, let's get this wall put in, and we'll figure out what else to do. It is, it's raining, kind of. I think it might just be because I'm basically in a cloud. Anyways, besides the rain, we ordered 3 boxes of Havelock wool insulation because that's what their website recommended for a van of this size. And I'm honestly not sure where that calculation comes from because I've used 2 out of 3 boxes and we still have yet to insulate that entire wall, the entire ceiling, and like a quarter of this side as well as the back doors. So I don't know. We ordered another box. I'm probably after I get out this box and finish this wall, see if maybe I need to order a second box because they take several days to come in and like ship. So yeah, now I need to figure out where to put my camera so that way it doesn't get destroyed from this basically rain mist that's happening. we get the right drill bit, the screws, and we will attach this. I think there's no way around it. I think I'm gonna have to get some sort of elbow that will go 90 degrees so that way this can come over. Because now that I've gotten the wall in here, significantly shrinks down how much you might be able to bend this without it kinking. I guess I'm gonna have to look online for something because Lowe's doesn't have anything, Home Depot doesn't have anything. Look what I just picked up at Tractor Supply. I can't tell you how long I've looked online for one of these. This is gonna be where the hose comes in. This solves all of my issues that I was having. So I woke up today and I was going to reach out and call a couple of the plumbing supply stores that are specific for plumbing in the town that we live in. And lo and behold, they're all closed because it's Labor Day. And so I just Google online just to see if I can find one. And the first thing that pops up is Tractor Supply. So to secure the tank to the ground, I picked up a while ago a lot of this aluminum like angle. So it's super lightweight, super easy to cut. And basically what I'm gonna do is attach this to the ground like this, and it'll hold it in place. And then I'm also gonna put straps that are gonna go from the ground up and over and connect into the wall. Okay, so it's a funny story how I got this tool. When we very first moved into our house, we bought it, we moved into our house, and like that week, pretty much, the air conditioning unit completely stopped working. It was the middle of summer in Tennessee, and if you know anything about summer, it's the reason why I'm working at like 3 o'clock in the morning right now. What time is it? It is 2:16 in the morning. And I've been, for the past 2 weeks, only working at night because it is so hot during the summer. So it's in the middle of summer. Our air conditioning goes out a week after buying our house. We call a company that our neighbor had recommended, and they came out, put in a new air conditioning unit. And then about like 6 months later, we had an issue with the air conditioning unit. There was, I can't remember exactly what was wrong, but they had to come back out and service it because it was brand new. And when they left, I went in there like the next day to check on it just to make sure it was, I think it was like it wasn't draining properly or something. And so I went in there and checked, and this tool was left in the furnace room. And so it's like a PVC pipe cutter or like a PEX cutter or anything like that. So it's like a ratcheting cutter. It's great. So I text the guy and I was like, hey, just so you know, you left your PVC cutter at our house. And he was just like, all right, cool, we'll pick it up. Never came to pick it up, and it is now 4 years later, and I still have it. I've used it a lot since then, and it's what I thought I was going to use to cut this hose. But guess what? This hose is about 2 times bigger than this cutter is. Yeah, they didn't cut me through. Guess I'm just gonna use a razor blade and just cut through it. Don't try that at home, kids. I had a momentary panic attack when I realized I forgot to put a pipe clamp on. Then I remembered that these come off. Well, it is officially morning. It is now becoming light out. And, well, I'm just not going to sleep. This is what my work schedule has become because of the temperature and the weather. Although I will say, tonight has actually been pretty cool. It was like 59 when I checked earlier. We back. It's a new day, new night rather. And picked up some things at Lowe's today to be able to fully install this tank. She pretty. All right, so I think this is as far as I can get for right now. What I have left to do with this water system, obviously I need to still put the hole in the floor over here for the drain system. Tomorrow I need to pick up another fitting for this right here. I need to have an elbow because this is gonna come out way too far, and I'm wanting to put a wall that goes right here. So I need to get an elbow push fitting that will go this direction, and then that'll be pressure release valve. So that's just gonna run all the way over and then down out the hole that we're gonna put down on the floor over there. And then the only things that are left to wire in this whole thing, or plumbing, is the shower, which we don't have yet. The hole, we still have to put the hole in the floor down there, and then obviously we still need to run it over to the sink, but our sink is nowhere close to being in. Well, so here's something incredibly frustrating. So I learned today, I picked up some elbows, push fittings, to go on the water heater over here. And well, I realized before I put this thing on that it says for PEX fittings only, PEX only. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. So I Googled it, and well, yep, turns out that these particular fittings, these Evo PEX fittings, are only for PEX piping. Hands down, the most frustrating thing that I found was I was trying to remove the old connector off, and normally with a PEX push to fit connection, all you have to do is there's a little plastic piece that'll be like on the tip of these right here. They have a special tool that can remove them, but I normally use a wrench to remove it. It fits fine, it's easier to pull on and everything like that. So I got a wrench out and I was trying to get it off. I couldn't get it off, so I grabbed this package to look on the back to see if they say anything on how to remove these, because they look a little bit different than PEX fittings that I've used in the past. And guess what? In pretty small text, it says right here, non-removable. Well, guess what? I have to get these off and put ones that are compatible with copper to PEX on. So I had to find out how to get these removed. I looked up on Google and I found a video that basically said you can cut them. And so that's what I did. I just removed one using my jigsaw with a metal plate on it and cut through the metal. And it is not pretty. It leaves a huge mess. And I'm gonna have to do that for 2 other fittings that are on here. And then tomorrow go and buy the actual fittings that are going to work with this water heater. All right, so I finally got all of them taken off and removed, vacuumed up everything. There was just metal shavings everywhere. Oh, all that work from yesterday, undone. Tomorrow I will pick up the ones that actually work with copper and are hopefully removable if I ever need to remove them. So, yeah. I got my 1 3/4 inch hole saw out. It is time to drill a hole in the floor for all of the lines from the water system to get out underneath the van. So our drain line, our breather tube, and then the hot water like pressure release valve will also run out through this hole. So let's get some measurements done and then we're gonna drill this hole tonight. Lost a tooth. Dang, Craftsman. Come on. Okay, so last night, so to update you on what all happened last night, I didn't film a whole lot. I didn't honestly get a whole lot done. These adapters pieces, the PEX stuff, really demoralized my spirit last night. So I didn't end up getting a whole lot done. I mostly did a whole bunch of measuring and kind of trying to plan out a lot of the things that I haven't done yet, like the 120 or the AC panel hasn't been installed yet. And before I install that, I'm wanting to add in 2 additional power socket locations. And so I was trying to figure out the best way to put those in, and I want to put one of them on a switch, things like that. So also last night, I got a piece of plywood out, sat it on top of the bed bars up here that I've installed, and to see how much it's gonna flex. And to be honest, it wasn't super great. These bowed quite a bit, even with the wood on top. I was trying to spread out the weight as evenly as possible, and just with my weight alone, let alone 2 people, it just really didn't inspire a whole lot of confidence. So at Lowe's today, I went and picked up the same type of bars, but they have thicker ones. So these are the same Unistrut construction, however, they are twice as thick this way. So they're a square instead of a rectangle. And these things, they're significantly heavier, which is what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to, put as little weight as possible in the van. These, however, they don't bend near as much. I put one down at supported the 2 ends, and this is a 10-foot piece, let alone cutting it down to 6 foot like it is in the van. A 10-foot piece barely bent at all, or barely, bowed at all when I was standing on top of it in Lowe's. So hopefully these are gonna be better. It's like twice the weight that the other bars are, which is pretty heavy, honestly. But I'd rather have a bed that is going to be super solid than one that is potentially going to not hold us up very well. I got the right PEX fittings this time. Let's get them put on. Well, guess what? The push to connect fittings turned out to be the wrong size for these copper pipes. This water system has been, every single step, I swear, has just been disappointing after disappointing after disappointing, and just extremely frustrating. beyond belief. So instead of working on the water system tonight, we're going to take out these old bed frame beams that we're gonna replace with the newer, stronger ones. So we need to get these out, bring them in, cut the new ones, bring those in. I'm also gonna cut those a little bit longer so that way they have a little bit more, lip on the metal bracket on the wall. So we need to get these off, get them in, measure the other ones, cut them, all the things. I already said that. They fit amazingly and they don't flex like at all. Before I could like grab this one and just with my body weight standing here, kind of pull it down. This one I can't do anything with.